Alright, it's the next day. We spent all day yesterday organizing, moving cabinets around, moving cars around, getting the mini box all situated, getting some of these bins proper. But today, I need to get the Dark Horse and the C2 all cleaned up because they're set to get wrapped this following Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday here at the toy box. And I gotta start first by getting some of these cars out of the way. Did have the Ram bar installed finally on the TRX. Also had this thing wrapped and tinted last week. It got finished on Thursday. Brought it to my local dealership to get the Ram bar installed. I'm just rambling here, but I put stickers on here. They're probably still on there. No, took them off. Put stickers like this. These ones on here. Yeah, do not roll down. What do I see when I pull up to the dealership? I see the driver's side window roll down. So I had some choice words with them, but it's all good. There was no damage, which is good. So I'm gonna get, hopefully it doesn't rain out, it might. I'm gonna get these guys, what if I can just move them over here? I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try to keep everything inside. Let's move them over here. Wow, that was a normal exhaust mode. I'll show you guys later. I haven't spent more than like 3 minutes with the car so far. I've had to monkey around with that, but I do know that was standard exhaust. Let's get these TRXs moved. Alright boys, finally I get to highlight the Dark Horse. What do you guys think of this color? It's really similar to the GT500. I think it's called Dark Matter Gray. We'll touch more on that after I clean her up a little bit. And I'll also touch on, like, you know, what I paid for it and everything like that. You can see it just, well, you probably can't see. It was delivered to me in nasty condition, which, I mean, let's be honest, that's what I prefer, because I don't want dealerships to put their hands on it. You guys saw how nasty that orange TRX was right off the dealership lot, or I should say showroom. But you know, this, they didn't do any sort of pre-delivery detail on here, which they didn't ask me if I wanted them to bypass, so maybe it was all luck that they didn't do it. I would have told them to bypass it, but also I did not pay MSRP for this car. We'll talk about that here in a bit, but first let's clean her up. I think I'll start by doing a dry foam on it first while I clean the wheels and tires. Alright, here we go. There we go. Okay, this is honestly one of the nicer finishes I've seen on a new car. There's very few areas of concern that I'm gonna try to correct here before we get this thing wrapped. And here's one of them. Look at the light right there. See that? Couple marks right there. There's a little chalk mark right here. I'm guessing you can see just the very end of it that I didn't quite get. So there's that one. There was one back here. There it is. See that right there? And I think there was one more. I have to find it. But this is nowhere near what I've seen on some other cars. Like that TRX, for example. That thing was nasty. So I'm gonna go around. I'm just gonna do it by hand. Do some Aguirre's 210. Try to get some of that off real quick. Okay, got it all polished out. I think it turned out pretty good. Let's see here. This was the right angle to see it. Little minor things. We have to wet sand to get those out, but the surface stuff is gone. I think she's ready. I need to do the inside still. I took off the little plastic parts that were on the carpet. I do have to clean this still, including the door panel. I'll do that real quick too, actually, before I show you guys around. I gotta clean the windows. I took off the window sticker the other day. Did that when I first got it. And yeah, oh man, look at that startup screen. That thing lasts forever, it seems like. Where are you going? Is that a tunnel? What is that? Does it ever end? What's going on? Oh, it's off. Alright, I got the inside all cleaned up. Wheels and tires coated and dressed, ready for the wrap to be done on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this next week. So you guys have probably all seen videos of Dark Horses on here already, so I don't want to bore you with something that you haven't seen. I just want to give my opinion of it. I did notice that this is one of the best factory paint jobs I've seen. Lexus has really good paint, but so does BMW and Porsche. This is up there as far as, I guess, delivered finish quality. And one thing I noticed too is, this totally slipped my mind, but the Dark Horse color is dark matter gray. And that is the exact same color as the GT500. So that's kind of cool. I didn't realize that when I bought this. The only options on this one, so I mean, you guys all probably know, as you get up trim levels in vehicles, like I don't know, I guess I can use like the M4, for example. You know, the M40i or 440i, is that what it's called? You know, that comes with certain features standard without selecting any options. The M4 comes with many of those optional features as standard. Same thing with the Dark Horse. You know, you have the EcoBoost, the GT, and then you have the Dark Horse. The options on the Dark Horse are minimum compared to like a GT, because that's one way they mark up the MSRP, is they have all these optional this optional equipment as standard on here, so there's not a whole lot you can choose. On this one in particular, it's just the security package, these Recaro seats, which I like them, but I wish that they, watching Happy Gilmore, I wish that they were memory seats. I'd rather take a memory seat or electric seat with memory over something like this, only because, you know, someone's gonna get in here and tint this thing. They have to get into the back window, and then pretty soon this is gonna move 1/8 of an inch and my OCD is gonna go off the chart. I do wish that they had these power and memory seats in here. And so the seats, security, and the 10-speed automatic. I thought about getting a manual. There's a few available, and that brings me up like to the price of this thing. I love this thing. You guys all know, you watched my videos for a while, I never ever pay over MSRP on any car. And for when this was announced, the Dark Horse, it was what, maybe a year ago, something like that. Maybe not quite. You know, I saw the teasers right on. I'm gonna get one of these one day. And for the last, I don't know, 6 to 8 months, I've seen these things listed for like 5, 10, 15,000 over MSRP. My local dealership, I bought this in the state of Minnesota, but not my local dealership. My local one had like 2 or 3 Dark Horses, and they claimed to have sold them for 15K over, 10K over. They have this white one currently, and it was listed at 5,000 over for the longest time. And I went and looked at it, and when they're like, no, this is over 5K, and I'm like, okay, see ya, call me when you change your mind. And they didn't, so I went there probably about 2 months later, and they still had the car. And my salesman guy comes out, he goes, yeah, they're willing to sell us at MSRP. And I was like, okay, I can do a white one. The ZL1's white, and everything I wanted on there. And I'm walking around it, and I notice this piece right here. I haven't even checked out this one. See how this is nice and flush for the most part? That one was like really pushed in, especially compared to the other side. Kind of like this, actually, now that I'm looking at it. It's not flush like here. There's a little, it catches. Let's check the other side. It's not nearly as bad as that white one that was at the other dealership. And they said they could fix it. Yeah, see, this is nice and flush. Okay, so maybe it's just nature of the beast. Maybe I dodged a bullet. They said it was an easy fix. They just push out the screw and it pushes on that panel. I don't know. I'm not too concerned about it. Because of that, I walked away. I was like, no, I'm not going to get it. I don't even need it. I want it, but I don't need it. I mean, that's the answer. That's how all these cars came to be honest. So I just walked away, and during that time, I inquired with another, I don't know, 4 or 5 dealerships, including this one, because this is the same dealership I bought a GT500. It's Wilmer Ford, or Mills Ford in Wilmer, Minnesota. They had this one that's in transit. I said, okay, let me know when it comes in. And I get a text, I don't know, like a month later from my guy. He's like, yeah, it's here if you want it. And I was like, I want it, but I don't need it, especially considering I just bought the Renegade. And I got news that my dream car, my favorite car, is coming back. One that I built is coming back here. And that's actually due here. What's today's date? Today's the 7th. It's due here in like 5 days, actually. So that'll probably be my next video. Anyway, so I'm like, well, I told myself I wasn't going to buy any cars this year. And then I got, what did I get? I don't know what I got. I got the Renegade. I got this. I got a bike. I got traded the Indian on a Harley Davidson Sportster S. Kind of cool. Kind of like the Indian more in some ways, but I like the Sportster too because it's just a better bike. I was like, well, I don't even know if I'm going to qualify for this because I've had a large amount of credit, I guess, checks here recently just for, because I finance all my cars. Because I have like 9 car payments. It's pretty crazy. That's all going to change here in about 3 weeks because I'm selling a piece of property that I bought about 8 years ago. And so that'll free up a lot of debt for me, actually. I'll be able to pay off probably half these cars. Such a good movie. They got it in, and they did no PDI on it, and maybe that's why I got it for what I did. MSRP on this, I think, is just over $64,000, and I paid about $4,000 less than that. Crazy, right? Considering these things and every other car for the last 2 years was being listed at, 20-30% over MSRP, including these not too long ago. So for me to be able to obtain one of these at a discount under MSRP, I thought that was pretty cool. So what my plans for this is, unlike all these cars back here, yeah, my dad and I, we do drive these, not very often. This guy is going to be a different story. I'm going to end up not daily driving it, but if it's a rainy day like today, I'm not going to blow a fuse if I get stuck in the rain. Let's be honest, I'm probably not going to drive it in the rain, but I'm just saying, like, it's going to be that, I guess, caliber of vehicle for me, where it's one that I'm not going to be too, I guess, concerned about mileage and the wear and tear, and I guess just the daily use that it's going to get, because it is not as, as special as the GT500 or the M4 or the ZL1. All those cars, to me, are keepers, because you can't get them anymore. This thing I could replace tomorrow if I really wanted to. So what I'm getting at is, like, this car, I bought for the sole purpose of being able to enjoy a sports car a lot more than I do in the other ones. So that's about as transparent as I can be. Now let's show it around a little bit. So it is dark matter gray, as I said before, same color as the GT500. One thing I like about this, I'm usually not a big fan of plastic on cars, but this is like really tastefully done. It helps break it up a little bit. Then you have some gloss black down here, which you guys know me, I don't care for gloss black, but I do love when they put these cheap splitters on the front, because, I mean, I don't know, it's your ankles can hit this as you're getting into the car, or the heel of your shoe. And it's just, it doesn't cheapen the car to me like you would probably think. I do plan on wrapping this thing. I think I said that 4 or 5 times now. There will be a clear film. This is kind of thick. That might be a problem for them. But there will be a clear film over the entire car, so I will have protection on there as I drive it. I like these mirrors. It's kind of an anodized gray. I've only spent maybe 3 minutes inside the car, so there isn't a whole lot of experience I could share with you, but that will change obviously as I get some use on it. But I can't find an angle of this car that I dislike. I think that this rear, I don't know, shoulder, this quarter panel, really reminds me of the Camaro. But I love the silhouette of this car. I've never been, I've said in videos before, I've never been a big Ford fan. That GT500 kind of changed my opinion. And then, I don't know, so Ford just really stepped up their game. They used to be, I think I had videos 4 or 5 years ago complaining about shutting a Ford F-150 door and the whole thing like shatters, or not shatters, but rattles. And that's not the case anymore. Look how solid this is. I mean, that's a solid shut. See, on the inside, haven't looked at this much, but you have this, I guess, greeting that's seems to be never ending, like you're going down this tunnel. Only 7.4 miles on it. Push button start. Man, that's just a good rumble. It's such a really welcoming cabin too. This is a huge screen. I've seen some of these with the gap right here. I'm not sure what that's all about. Must be a EcoBoost thing or something. Maybe I saw something else, I don't know. But yeah, this instrument cluster and this, just the seating position is really nice. And I love that these, I mean, that's only 2,000 RPMs. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but man, that sounds so good here. I know you guys want to hear that. I was only like 7.5 miles on here, so that was only 4,000 RPMs. That's what I maxed it out on. Man, this is such a sweet car. It's gonna look better once I get it tinted there. Let's see here. I think Dark Horses come with this. What otherwise is the brake option on some of the other vehicles or some of the other trims like the GT, and it comes with that. I didn't even pop this engine yet. It comes with that very dependable. I never pictured Ford as like dependable, which I'm gonna say that now because I've heard nothing but good things about this motor. This has that, oh, I didn't clean this, oh well. Ooh, nice, there's little struts. I was a little concerned about that, this wouldn't have those struts. Because, you know, I think of Ford, being cheap, you know, they have a little damn stick that goes up and holds the hood. But not in this case. This has that Coyote 5.0 liter. I believe it's pushing 500 horsepower. And I'm not opposed, you guys may or may not know, I don't modify vehicles very often. I just clear wrap them, wash them, drive them, enjoy them, sell them, unfortunately. Something like this, because I'm gonna daily it, Ford has this performance package. I think it's a Whipple supercharger plus a whole bunch of other parts, belts and stuff. I could be wrong, but I know it's like a $9,000 option. I might want to do that to this. It wouldn't be that terribly expensive, I guess, but the performance increases that you get from that and having a factory warranty, I think that'd be pretty cool. So I might do a video either I'm doing it myself, probably not, or just having it installed for me, but that might be something that I wouldn't be opposed to doing to this car. That's shot really nice. It's almost noon. I gotta wash the C2 and the C1, probably just the C2 actually, because that's all that they're gonna have time to wrap this week. Let me know what you guys think. Another Mustang in the stable, trying to combat the Chevy stuff, but I'm a huge, obviously, Chevy fanboy. What do you guys think of this? I think it's really sweet that it's the same color as the GT500. I'll get them both out side by side sometime. Yeah, I think it was a good pickup. Paint, I had a few imperfections that got out right on the hood and this little back piece on the trunk. Paint's really soft actually. It was quite simple to remove, so I'm glad about that. I like these wheels and tires. They're simple, but I love when there's like a matte gray texture to it. I think it matches the mirrors. Maybe not. No, it's slightly different. Okay, I got some more stuff to do. Let me know what you guys think. As always, I do appreciate watching. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks.